Good afternoon. Hopefully the third time is the charm. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We'll get to the JRC in a moment, but first, the disclaimers and the trigger warnings. If you are unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, pertinent links are going to be right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the link we have in there of Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject. We also have a link to Neuroclastics article, the one where they surveyed over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center's so-called behavior modification program. It is the same one that the JRC threatened them with a defamation lawsuit over if they didn't remove it off their website. Neuroclastic very obviously refused, so please read the article and share it on all your social media. We also have linked in there the GoFundMe we set up for Neuroclastic, just in case the JRC ever sees through with their threat, because unlike them, we don't have unlimited access to never-ending streams of money. Trigger warnings. When we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips or surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please utilize the headphones. Also, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We do use profanity and speak on dark subjects. If your child's 16 and younger and they are watching this, parental supervision is very much advised. As to my attitude problem, this is the third time of reading the same paragraph, because the previous two, for reasons that elude me, turned off the audio to my headset. The second time, I actually made sure to look and make sure the green dot was showing. But then, apparently, on the computer side, it flipped the switch to off for the microphone, but not the webcam. So yeah. I don't know. I'm feeling an Office Space moment. So, let's try it again, where we left off. A long history of the Supreme Court cases make clear that the JRC patients and their parents, as these patients' guardians, have a fundamental liberty interest in the patient's health, and in particular, and as applicable here, a fundamental liberty interest in choosing a medical treatment which fits the particular needs of the patient. Historically, this has been prescribed and administered by healthcare practitioners. Indeed, the Supreme Court has noted individualized nature of determining appropriate medical care. Medical treatments and procedures are often considered appropriate or inappropriate in the light of estimated comparative health risks and health benefits in particular cases. Here's the problem here. Look at the word appropriate or inappropriate. I'm going to take you back in time, not that long ago, around the 2010s. And I want you to remember the explosion of the Christian Science court cases that were going on at the time. One of the biggest ones were right here in my state of Missouri. It was a particular case where a kid was very obviously very extremely and dangerously sick. And they kept coming into school every single day like that. One particular day, it was bad enough that the teachers had to call an ambulance to take the child to a hospital. As per school protocol, the parents were notified. The parents went to the hospital and demanded that their child be discharged immediately and that all medical interventions that were being used to save their child's life be ceased immediately. See where the problem is here? Okay, I'm glad you do. In most cases, parental rights are almost sacrosanct when it comes to their child's medical health care and mental health care. But if there is a particular case where the parental judgment seems very, very obviously limited, and the demands the parents are making could cause irreversible harm to the child, then federal government or state government have all the authority they need to intervene on the behalf of the child and supersede those parental rights so that whatever medical interventions that need to take place in order to help the child will happen. Now, there's been other cases since then, and these new laws have gotten even more defined. In particular, in context of what we're discussing here, where it has been determined beyond a shadow of a doubt that the particular health treatment that the parents are agreeing to and advocating for their child can be proven to be riddled with huge amounts of risk to their physical and psychological well-being, then the federal government, just like in the Christian Science cases, has every right to intervene and supersede those parental rights to make the proper medical decisions on the behalf of the child when the parents' particular decisions they're making, you get where I'm going with this, right, are going to cause the child harm. Now, within the rest of that paragraph, it talks about the health care providers, their rights, and the parents' rights. What people like them seem to forget the most is the fact that in spite of a child being a minor, they too have rights, human rights, and civil rights. They have the right to humane and sane health care. They have the right to seek outside help when those who are making the decisions in regards to either their medical health care or their mental health care could possibly cause them irreparable harm. Okay? In those cases, parental rights, healthcare provider rights do not supersede the child's right to proper, sane, humane healthcare. Okay? You see, JRC, what that means is you don't just get to violate a child's human rights and civil rights in alphabetical order and not have to answer for it because you got their parents to sign a consent form if what you're doing is going to hurt the child. If ever there were a clearer case where a proposed pseudoscience was definitely beyond the shadow of a doubt cause infinitely more harm than good, this case is it. Video surveillance footage, ER documentation, ER photos of injuries, court transcripts that list back all the way to the 1970s, where in many occasions, even after the GED had been introduced, kids going in the ER and doctors have written how they had not found a single unbruised or unscabbed piece of skin on the child. In fact, there has been occasions where the ER doctor demanded that the child be taken off of that device for at least 2 weeks so that their body has a chance to heal. So, in that particular case, the child's rights supersedes the rights of both the parents and the healthcare providers. Especially in cases which the FDA has more than sufficiently brought to the world's attention, where there are other forms of treatment in regards to their behaviors that do not use physical adversives, do not cause second and third degree burns, do not cause an individual to go into a 2-month catatonic coma. So, child has recourse to state or federal government to come in and wrest that decision away from the parents if the parents cannot make a clear, sane decision in regards to their health care. If the treatment you seek is giving your child second and third degree burns, local governments tend to become a little bit concerned, usually. But since the local government has continued to overlook and ignore what you all do to those kids, this is why places like the UN, like the FDA, has had to be brought in to intervene. Those kids have recourse. Their rights to sane, safe, proper mental health and medical health care supersedes everybody else's rights. That has been made clear with those previous cases, with the Christian Science. It's been made in other cases since, in particular within the troubled teen industry, where the state, especially out here with places like Agape and Circle of Hope, have had to step in to get these kids sane, proper mental health care instead of using kids for free slave labor and corporal punishment. So yes, the FDA is absolutely within their authority, and there is very much a legal precedence for overriding the rights of the parents if what they're demanding is going to cause their child infinitely more harm than good. Okay? That being said, I would like to bring your all's attention back to the fact that this is not a court case. Okay? This is not a criminal case. It does not require cross-examination. This is an FDA panel determining the ban of a dangerous medical device being used by individuals that I would think would be too incompetent to oversee the welfare of a single slug on a rainy day. Okay? They are there in regards to your device. Nothing else. The transcripts of previous cases were only involved in so much that they were looking over within those pages had there been precedent in regards to the risks from the device. They're not there to relitigate your court cases, JRC. They are there to remove an extremely dangerous so-called medical device that has already caused a massive amount of harm to at least 3.5 generations of your students. Congress, as of 2023, ruled against you and said that the FDA absolutely did have the full authority to be able to ban the device outright, whether you like it or not. The fact that they are even opening this up for comments again, in spite of them having that full authority, this is them being transparent. This is them giving you one more chance to provide sound evidence to present your case. You continue with ad hominems, copy-paste, and some of the most deranged, confusing paragraphs I've ever seen, and considering it's me who argues with anti-vaxxers on a semi-regular basis, that's saying something. Okay? It's simple, JRC. If parental rights puts the child's legal rights in danger, then the rights of the child should be respected over that of the parents. In a case where if they go with what the parents want, it could cause horrific harm to said child. Also, again, this isn't a court case. The FDA is not suing the JRC. The FDA is determining whether your device, whether the risk is outweighed by the benefit. Very obviously, the risks way outweigh the temporary, if you call that a benefit. I could get the same reaction of stopping my behavior right now if all of a sudden I looked to the side and there was a squirrel. And on that, folks, we're going to go ahead and close out. We don't get very many views on this channel, and the few we do tend to get removed from time to time. So if you could, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Please don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea absolutely hope you have a good one. You all have a great day. Pray for me. Pray for me because the office space moment is brewing like underneath my skin right now. Bye, everyone.